The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech? There is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
I think she's irrelevant, frankly, and I don't think this will matter. I do think it does kind of feed into conspiracy theories that we've heard out there.
Yes, Melania just broke the internet, break her silence after a long time, and Libras are not having it. I have seen a lot of videos coming out after she posted this on X. CNN commentator accuses Melania Trump of being irrelevant after she spoke out about her husband's assassination attempt. There is more to this. A lot of people thought this is over. There is something you have not seen. Before we even go into that clip, take a look at this.
The reality is I think there's going to be some weird things that happen in the next 2 months. I think there are going to be some, depending on what happens in the debate. So I'm going to the debate next week in Philadelphia. It's going to be Tuesday. I think it's going to be probably a Donald Trump demolition, destruction of the other side. But don't cheer too much, right? Because I was at the last one, and that's actually in some ways was a trap. It was obviously a trap. Right? They scheduled the earliest ever presidential debate in U.S. history. Why did they do that? It was obvious. It was that they wanted to test Biden as a final trial balloon, and they got a free option. Because if he did great, they turned the race upside down. But if Biden did as poorly as he did, they swapped him out. It was something unthinkable that became the obvious. So I think if we have another debate smackdown on Tuesday, if I was a betting man, I'd predict that's what we're about to have. I also would predict we're going to have some very strange things that happen on the back of that as well.
Take a look at what Tulsi Gabbard said on this video.
Simple message for my Democrat friends, my independent friends, those who may not be sure about who they're voting for in this election. Dick Cheney has just made the choice very clear. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, the architect of everything that has gone wrong in the Middle East for the last few decades. And so it's interesting because if you listen to the New York Times or some of the other mainstream media, they're saying, oh, don't expect much from Kamala Harris in the way of policies and details and plans, and we're not going to know much about what kind of president she's going to be because she doesn't have much time. They're conveniently ignoring the fact that she's been there working in the White House the last 3.5 years.
Yes, I believe you heard Vivid. This is not the first time he is saying this. I clearly understand that Democrats are full of surprises, but at this point, it is normal to expect them to do what Vivid just said here. It is extremely concerning. Vivid said during the debate with Biden that if Trump defeats that man, they will kick him out. And it happened. If Vivid is repeating this, you should pay attention to this. Tulsi Gabbard, on the other hand, made it clear if you're voting for Kamala, you are voting for Dick Cheney, and we know what he stands for. That is concerning. Now going into this video of CNN reacting to Melania Trump, coming out to say there is more to what happened to him. CNN guests did not want to acknowledge that she has the right to question what happened because they had all measures to prevent this not from happening. I never thought this topic would stop till they get answers, but along the way, people decided to move on. Now she's coming out, which is not too late, to clear her mind.
David, I mean, you've been around the Trump campaign for a long time. This feels not accidental that this is being raised on the day of the debate. Why is this coming up today, and what's going on here? I mean, is there a conspiracy happening? What's going on?
I don't think there's a conspiracy. I think she's asking legitimate questions. Her husband, the father of her child, came within about 1/4 of an inch of having his head blown off by a shooter who, by all accounts, should have been was wandering around the event site for hours beforehand, seen by many people. Is a complete failure on so many levels. I don't think it's conspiracy. I think she's asking.
You don't think it's a nod to conspiracy theorists?
No, I don't think it's that. I think she's asking, how the hell could this have happened? This person, right? I mean, there were local law enforcement who did their job. There were failures up and down the chain of command in the Secret Service.
Yeah.
There are
why
a lot
put that
of
out
answers.
today?
There are a lot of answers that people want.
Yeah, with a lot of answers. Absolutely, we should get.
I think it's reminding.
Why put that out today?
I think it's reminding the American public that Donald Trump almost gave his life for pursuit, to be president of the United States. He stood up there and somebody wanted to kill him because of what he believed in and what he stood for. So I think it's worth noting that, the guy, puts his life on the line every day in doing this. And I think that's what she was reminding. She obviously loves her husband. Barron loves his father. And I think that she's trying to humanize him.
Maria?
I think that it's, and obviously as a wife of somebody who did go through an attempted assassination, she's absolutely entitled to say whatever she wants about that. I think she's irrelevant, frankly.
Yes, you can clearly see the minds of people. This lady is clearly stating that she is irrelevant. I don't get that. Or is it because they think they are the only one to speak out on certain situations, or what exactly? I don't understand why she would say this. She went further to outline, what we should focus on now should be about Kamala trying to outline her policies. For how many months now? Kamala is unable to do that. Is during the debate, Kamala will be able to put out her policy stance. So what exactly? I don't understand about this lady. She actually said some ridiculous thing that triggered me to a certain point. I didn't want to continue watching that video, but for the sake of understanding, let me play this so you can see exactly what she said.
She's irrelevant, frankly, and I don't think this will matter. I do think it does kind of feed into conspiracy theories that we've heard out there, but at the end of the day, what people are going to pay attention on tonight is what Kamala Harris says about what she wants to do with another 4 years. And if she does her job right, and I believe she will, though it is hard to prep for crazy, which is what she's going to get from Donald Trump, but the contrast between what she's going to offer the American people, which are a way to move forward, a way for people to not just get by, but to get ahead, versus what they've already seen for 4 years, the chaos, the crazy, the politics of revenge, the politics of retribution. People don't want that. Swing voters don't want that. Women don't want that.
Jim, yep. I think it's real quickly. I think it's important what Maria said. She's going to explain what she'd do if she had another 4 years, right? Donald Trump said this, Kamala Harris says, I'm going to be ready on day one. Her day one was 3.5 years ago. Do not reelect Kamala Harris. If your life isn't better than it was 4 years ago, that's the question, Ronald, right?
Yes, you can see the tactics here. This is how they diminish this topic, and she is still doing it here. The focus will be on Kamala, doing this, doing that. She had the time to speak into Biden so they could do right things to the American people, and you are still telling me she should take another 4 years to do what she could not do in 4 years. It is insane to think that...
You really want Trump to lose this election, right? No, you don't? Really?
The one thing that's certain, if he loses, Kamala Harris will be president of the United States. And I wholly oppose almost every single one of her positions. I think she's a vacuous opportunist. I totally reject the idea that in the space of 48 hours, she went from a subpar vice president, everyone recognized as such, all of a sudden to the second coming of Barack Obama. It is preposterous.
That I have to say is one of the best
gun-toting...
Damn, Kamala.
Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips.
For some people, it's already started.
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris,
they say and they disappear.
The money in politics is so extraordinary, which is something that should have never been allowed to happen.
Much more happens at the DNC.